been running, I've been shooting. A long period of like being stuck right here where you don't want to get, I don't plan on it. I just want to be as healthy as I can possibly be and be 100%. That's what I'll be, but I'll definitely be there. I'll be around. I've learned a lot. Don't try to be the guy that does it in record time because it takes what it takes. And I've been through that process. I've been through the struggles. I've been through the high moments.
What's this like?
I was just telling him it was a little weird, but not weird at all at the same time. That's the best way to describe it.
Where are you at health-wise? I know it's a long path, but kind of what are you able to do and where are you on the path?
Right now, I can do a lot of stuff. I've been running, I've been shooting. I think it's at the stage where I can do a lot, but it's tricky because you can, with this injury, what I've learned is you get to a point where you can, do a lot of these things, but the tendon is not, strong enough to stand up to it like it normally would be able to, like doing basketball activities. So it's a long period of like being stuck right here where you don't want to get carried away with what you think you could be doing because it feels good doing a lot of that stuff. You just got to kind of stay in the moment. So right now, that's just where it's at. I'm able to do a lot more activity, but still, building the strength up and, getting that tendon back to taking its normal shape.
I know you're taking this year, but is there any scenario that you could foresee, any scenario in the entire world, one seed going into the playoffs, anything where you would say, screw it, I'm playing?
I don't plan on it. I feel like if the team's a 1 seed going into the playoffs, then they probably got it. So I just want to be as healthy as I can possibly be and be 100%. I'm confident in it and, be able to do all of the movements and everything that it takes to be on the NBA court and, test out of everything that I need to test out of to make sure that I'm ready to go. And at that point, whenever that point is, obviously I'll have a decision to make. Be there early in the morning to get my stuff done. That's not team stuff like my rehab and to try to get my training in, just so that I can get that out the way and then still be there or be able to watch and go through all the stuff that the team is going through so I can know the offense, I can know the defensive principles, I can just hear the language and everything that's being spoken. I guess I'm going to be like another assistant coach. Whatever I can be to the team at this point, that's what I'll be, but I'll definitely be there. I'll be around.
The most difficult part of this process for you?
Even when I've had injuries, when things have come up, I've always been able to do something about it. And I think this is the first time that it's an injury that you can come back from, but you can't do anything about it. You got to take the time that it takes.
Have you reached out to anybody who's had this injury in the past? Obviously you saw it with Wes and all that, but just to the road ahead, and have they given you any advice about what's ahead?
Yeah, I spoke to a KD, I spoke to Rudy Gay, DeJounte Murray, who else? Wes. Me and Wes talked about it every day. Wes came and worked my camp in Arizona this summer, so every day we talked about it and went over stuff. My PT that I've used this whole time has done 40 or 50 Achilles repairs, so he's pretty comfortable with it and he knows his stuff. So I've learned a lot, what not to do when things worked out best. And also I've every couple of weeks I've been going and seeing my surgeon to make sure everything is right and what the next step should be. That's really been it. It's just making sure I'm listening and speaking to those people who've experienced it and people who like my surgeon who've done these repairs over and over. And my PT who's been involved in a lot of these rehab processes as well. So that's really been it.
Consistent message that they've given you, patience or something like that?
I would say the most consistent has just been that, don't try to be the guy that does it in record time because it takes what it takes. And usually when people return to form is because they took the proper amount of time and they didn't fall for I feel good, I can do it. When a lot of times you feel good, it's still a few layers to the injury that, you gotta work through. And that's, getting that force and being able to do a lot of the things that you can only know if it's working or not on a basketball court. And then to, run those types of tests and know that it's all the way right. And that usually takes a little bit longer. So I would say that's one thing they all said that they all had in common.
It mentioned at the rally about Scoot and being part of his journey and what way you feel like he can grow. And obviously he's going to be out for a while. Have you thought about being with him or spending time with him as you guys are both rehabilitating, since you're both kind of won't be able to do on-court stuff for a while?
Neither one of us going to be on the court for a little bit, so it'll definitely create that window of opportunity for us to have a lot more dialogue during that time. Even if he was on the court, I'm going to still be around, and it's breaks and stuff like that, and different guys getting reps and he's on the side where I would definitely be able to have some type of conversation or put stuff stuff in his ear, but now this puts it, even more of an opportunity where we're going to be around each other, doing this. I'm rehabbing and he's going to be rehabbing and trying to get back to full health. But I'm not going to be like all in his ear, like I just know everything. But, it's a lot that I can share with him from experience. As a young point guard, I know the desire, I've been there to, want more for yourself and want to grow, want to prove yourself. I've been through that process, I've been through the struggles, I've been through the high moments, when you want to jump out there and you want to show what you can do. I've been through all of those things, I know what it's like off the floor. When you got, people saying what you need to do and what's expected. I know that I could, help take some of that weight off his shoulders by just sharing information that I know is a fact. It'll be a lot of opportunity to do that now to start the season.